Hi Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you on increasing your intuitive abilities. Now, if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Libra, September 1st to the 15th, 2021, Libra, increasing intuitive abilities. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Magician, as above, so below. So what we focus on during this time is really going to be what we manifest. And then we have Judgment, which is really saying here our hearts are being judged against the weight of a feather. We're also going to see ourselves rising out of darkness, hurt, pain, despair, doubt. If we keep our hearts light, if we keep our emotional energy vibration at a higher frequency, if we don't let people drag us down to their base emotions. Then we have our inner self. We have the Three of Air, the Three of Swords, and the Ten of Air. There is a release from negativity, doubt, and fear, but we have to be able to acknowledge it first within our inner self. It's like, in order for me to go on this journey, in order for me to open up this mode of being, I have to see myself fully, openly, and honestly. It brings us to the Fool. Our hearts can feel light and as if we're on an adventure. It brings us to the Six of Cups. There's a protection here that comes forward, but there's also this sense of nostalgia, like things were better when. So we do have to be mindful of that. It brings us to the Seven of Cups in the public arena. Joys and happiness, dreams coming true and dreams moving forward. And then we have the Devil, which is Capricorn energy. But this is, so if we have Capricorn within our natal chart, this is going to be coming through very profoundly in the public arena. But this is also saying, I am aware of the traps being set for me. And what's so interesting about this, because before the camera even started rolling, as I was shuffling and meditating upon the cards, Spirit said, be very mindful of the increase of energy that comes your way. And that is a message I get often from Spirit, but it's meant for you guys. So when we embrace our intuitive abilities, when we say, I'm opening up this door, we start to feel things a lot more than maybe people even understand, a lot more than maybe we understand at the time that we're taking in this insight, this idea, this desire, this this space that we are occupying. And so here during this time, we have to really acknowledge that power that's coming through us, and that's, becoming part of us. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of as we embrace this journey. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. We have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is a sense of power. And we have to be very mindful of the fire that burns and the way we as air energy feed that fire. What do we want? What are we heading towards? What do we desire? What is passionately guiding us to the place that we need to be? The Queen of Wands is fire and determination, focus, and understanding when she's in her positive form. In her negative form, she is consumption. She is unstoppable. And she burns. She burns away what is needed and leaves what needs to come to the surface. And so during this time, we have to just be very mindful that something about us, something about our understanding, our time, our effort, it's especially within our inner self, is being burnt away. It's to lead us to our dreams. It's to lead us on this adventure. It's to show us that things weren't always better when. That we can start walking forward and say that things are powerful now. Maybe not better, but maybe we are moving towards that betterment. And we are definitely moving towards that betterment. It leads us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. Divine wisdom. The soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is a sense of wisdom being a part of us, of divine wisdom raining down on us and saying, I see you. Openly, honestly, powerfully, individually, I see you. Take this wisdom. See where it takes you. See how it guides you. See what becomes of it. Because at our root is the magician. As above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. And so when we have the divine wisdom raining down on us from our soul star chakra, as we stand before the altar of our existence, we claim our elemental truth. We claim what parts of us we haven't seen in a really long time. So what Spirit is saying about this is that when we claim our passion, our power, our intuition, our development, when we start to see ourselves more openly and more honestly than before, we claim what is needed. We claim who we are. And as we do so, that wisdom is going to change us. That power is going to change us. And we have to be very mindful about what we think of during this time. If we surround ourselves with negativity, it can be just like, listening to the news or, watching television or, watching certain things on television or reading certain books or something like that. If we surround ourselves with negativity, that negativity will grow and grow and grow inside of us. Because as above, so below. As we think it, so it becomes. If we surround ourselves with positivity, that positivity will grow inside of us. And we have to make the conscious effort during this time because there's so many base vibrational energies in our world that say, I'm just going to rip you down. I'm just going to take a little bit. I'm just going to take a little bit. And that's where the judgment comes in. We're being raised out of the box that we were in, raised out of the doubt and despair and the hurt and the pain. When we embrace judgment, we are going to see that we are weighing our hearts against feathers. And why that is done, because as Anubis in ancient Egyptian time, he weighed the deceased's heart against a feather, metaphorically speaking, and if their hearts were light, they were able to pass through to the paradise, to the other world. And this is a time where we have to look at our hearts and say, what weight am I carrying around there? What hurts, what pains, what disappointments, what betrayals, what sorrow is weighing down my heart to the point of it almost seems like no return. And that's where we have the 10 of Swords coming into play, the 10 of Air. The 10 of Air focuses on our breath, focuses on our words, focuses on ourselves. This is the darkness before the dawn. This is the time where we see ourselves hurt and in despair and overwhelmed before the light starts to shine in, before we start to see why we have gone through the heartbreaks and the pains and the disappointments, why we have had one sword after another stabbed in our back as it is seen in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, why we have learned how to fly together and separately. And as we look at this openly and honestly, the 3 of Swords comes into play, the heartbreak, the pain, the disappointment that says, now luck gets to come out of this because I'm wiser than I ever was. We look at pain, we look at suffering, and we think, why does this even need to be? And I don't know what's truth and what isn't. Karma, spiritual development, being able to embrace more, who knows? what happens, when Anubis judges our hearts. But what I do know is that the people who have faced adversities and still remain kind, that is something extraordinary that we don't really look at, that we poo-poo in this world. Actually, we would think, oh wow, you're going to be robbed this way, or you're going to be, lied to this way, and you're still going to try and help people. What's wrong with you? But to keep a kind heart when we have been betrayed and hurt and disappointed, that is a powerful thing. And with the Three of Swords, we look at the hurts and the betrayals and the disappointments that have defined us for too long, that have held us back, that have kept us from where we need to be. And it's like, no, this has built my compassion. This has led me to see the world in a different way than somebody who had everything handed to them, on a golden platter. And now I get to fly towards my dreams and my wishes and my desires, and it leads us on this fool's journey. We can look at the way that we are developing our hearts, the way that we want to move forward with our souls, and say, well, this is foolish. But we have to remember that every hero's journey is foolish at its start. Every inventor's journey is foolish at its start. Every entrepreneur's. And so when we look at ourselves and we doubt ourselves and we say, wow, this is foolish, we say, I embrace the path of the fool, the person who can move outside of the box. And our heart is calling us to move outside of the box and not to look at things and say, I could have done this one. I should have done this one. Things were better when. It is saying, I am embracing my heart, my soul, and myself. I am embracing the memory of nurture. I am embracing the times of joys and laughter. And I move forward towards the place that I need to be, towards the place that my soul wants to be, without always being held back or always thinking it will be better when. It brings us to the Seven of Cups. And I love that progression from the Six of Cups to the Seven of Cups. It brings us to a place of dreams. It brings us to a place of abundance and happiness and success and prosperity and bounty. It brings us to a place of more. And it's not having more upon the table. It's having more within us. Having this confidence of ourselves to say, I get to move forward. I get to move forward towards what I desire. I get to move forward towards where I need to be. I get to embrace the power and the magnificence of me. I don't get to hide away these dreams and keep it for a special day. Keep it for just the right time. Now is the right time for me. Now is the time for me to shine and move forward in confidence and competence. And it moves us to the devil. It moves us to being very aware of our waking world. And this devil scene is a bit intense. But we have here the bunny who is gone, and we have the bobcat who is. And we have the circle of life, but we also have the traps set for the bobcat or the bunny. Either one are overkill. And those are going to be our traps within our lives, set up for us that are overkill, that take the predator and prey instinct of ourselves and how we be one or both at either time in our lives, and make it so much more stressful, so much more hurtful than it needs to be. And what this means by the predator and prey is that sometimes we are taken down by our fears, by our hurts. I'm not talking about real predators and real prey, because that's gross. But what we are saying here, what Spirit is saying, is that there are times where we are traversing terrain that is just overpowering for us, that we need to be connected with the earth and feel the earth under our feet and see what needs to be seen, not what we want to see. But we have to know that there are traps along the way, that the rest of the world puts up to ensnare us, to break us, to hold us back, to keep us from the nourishment and from the connection with the earth, not in the chaotic way, not in the addictive way, not in the hurtful, terrible way, but in the way that says that there will always be chaos in our world. We will always fall back to our crutches until we look at our crutches. We look at what we are addicted to, and we say, I don't want that. I don't need that anymore. And it sounds so simple, and for some, it just isn't going to be. It could be the addiction of alcohol or drugs, and those take a lot of work to heal from. But we also have to look at the addiction of anxiety, the addiction of procrastination, the addiction of fear and anger. And those also take a lot of work to be able to name, to be able to see. Also the addiction of, I have to have everything just ordered just the right way. We see this, a lot of times it's easier to conceptualize if we say with food, I can only eat really healthy food. I can only eat this many calories. I can only do this type of thing. And it's not because they have an allergy or anything like that. It's because I'm inserting my control here. Just like with exercise, I'm inserting my control here by saying I have to exercise this many hours. I have to, or this many minutes. I have to get this many calories done. I have to. And the devil is saying that there is chaos within the world. And the have-tos are going to be tested during this time. And we're going to need to see ourselves more openly and more honestly than we want to. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's the moon. We have to be mindful of our fears and the way that our fears can overpower us during this time, and the disconnect between our subconscious and conscious self. We need to meditate, we need to connect, because that's how we're going to be able to hear that inner voice. Our subconscious chakra message is the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below the feet. And this is a sense of rebirth. This is as I connect to the earth, I am reborn into my power. As I connect with my inner self, I move forward with more grace and more to new heights, with more air around me, my element around me, than I had thought possible. It moves us to our subconscious rooted message, and that's the Hermit. Now, if we're born on the cusp with Virgo energy, this is going to be coming out quite powerfully. But this is also saying subconsciously we need to step back. We need to connect. We can't always just be pushing forward, pushing forward, pushing forward. We need to take time to connect with ourselves, to connect with our dreams, our wishes, our desires. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and that's the 5 of Wands. We need to see the way that we are transformed out of chaos, but from chaos, we are transformed. And this is stepping back from everybody's nonsense and saying, I am taking flight. I'm not sure where I will end up, how this intuitive connection will guide me forward. But now is the time not to, be dragged down in the base energy vibration. Now is the time to take flight and go after what I need and who I am. It brings us to our subconscious emotional self. And that is the 2 of Swords. And the 2 of Swords is seeing a new path forward. A way forward that we hadn't thought of before. A path forward that gets to define us, gets to be a part of us more and more and more. It brings us then to our subconscious public arena. Yeah. It's taking our head out of the sand and realizing there's more for us than we ever thought with the 2 of Swords, with the subconscious heart message. And then we have the 5 of Cups with the subconscious public arena. And the 5 of Cups is change your mind and change your life. See the beauty and the love that is there, and not just what has been toppled over or taken. All right, Libra. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation. Ooh, goodness. A clearing away of our negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace our magic, but as we see the chaos that our intuitive connection has been born in, has been forged in, and we see ourselves rising to new heights, out of doubts and out of fears. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Libra.